My name is Lou and I'm part of Destiny Glasgow, and I love going walks with my dog.
Hello, welcome to the Well of Wellbeing. It's lovely to have you.
Thank you.
So, I feel like this interview is for me. I want to get to know Lou because Lou, you're such a background heavyweight, and we rarely see Lou. We always see the sign of Lou. So let's start from the top. Who is Lou? Tell us about Lou.
I am part of Destiny Glasgow. I am one of the administrators here. And yeah, that's a lot of my life.
What do you like to do in your free time, in your like outside office hours? What does Lou like?
Like being outside,
Yes.
out in nature, hill walking, out with the dog, things like that. Until it gets to winter, and then it's not so fun.
Then it's back to the cozy indoors, yeah?
Yes.
Right, so Lou, are you single?
I am.
Yeah? Tell me about that. What does singleness feel like to you right now?
It's always been something I've really struggled with, in a sense.
Okay.
You know, from a very young age, I wanted to get married, have kids, and you know, when you're a teenager and you think, 24, 25-year-olds have their whole life worked out, they're adults, they know what they're doing, and then you get to that age and you realise that they're completely winging it. I've always kind of got to that point where I'm like, when's my turn?
Okay.
That's always been a big debate with me and God.
Wow. So you're saying from an early stage in life, you wanted to be married by this point in your life, yeah?
Definitely. Way before this point.
Wow, what influenced that? Was it people around you? Was it just the norm that at this point in time, girls are normally married? What brought on that emotion?
I think growing up, my family was not the best. They tried, don't get me wrong, but there was so many mental health issues going on and different things like that I never really felt part of a family until I joined the church. I think that's always been a very, very important thing for me is that family unit. And I don't know, I've just always wanted that.
Got you. So you wanted to grow up and just have people around you, just transition into that, like a stable, healthy family unit and a great partner, husband.
Yep.
So what about now? What are some, you said you struggled with at some points in your life. What about now? Where are you with it now? What does it look like now, singleness?
Kind of got to the point where, I'm ready for whatever God's got planned.
Okay.
But I know that this time is for me to prepare myself.
Okay. For
what God's got planned, for who God's got planned, and that's not always easy.
Okay.
I don't go through every day being singing and dancing, God's got a mighty plan. There's emotions attached to that, but yeah, I've just got myself to the point where I trust God.
Yep.
And I trust that He's got it all worked out.
Wow. So what does that look like when you say you're at the point where you believe God will work it out? What does that look like exactly?
It's quite funny. God said to me a couple of months. Well, it started a couple of years ago.
Okay.
When obviously I had this great desire for a husband and kids, and God said to me, "How would you react if I said that wasn't my plan?" Which I didn't for a second believe was His plan, and I still don't. It was more, do you trust me more than your own desires? So I've kind of got myself to the point where I have to trust God more than what I'm actually reaching for, which is not easy.
Oh my goodness, I think this is the most vulnerable any of the interviews have been. They're admitting to yourself that this is not where I want to be, and this is my heart in God's hands, and what He has planned for me is bigger than my desires. So what are some reoccurring emotions now? Obviously, you've mentioned that, sometimes you do struggle with the fact, but God is in it. So are we saying sometimes we're happy, sometimes it's lonely, sometimes it's I'm happy to be on my own and work things out, get myself there emotionally, mentally. Tell me some reoccurring emotions at this point in your life.
I think the biggest one for me is probably like kind of an injustice.
Okay.
And no, that does not come from God at all. But you walk about church and there's all these people in like their early mid-20s. They've got their husbands, they've got their families, they've got their houses.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here in my 30s going,
what about
when's
me?
mine?
Yeah. But I like that you put it in the setting of God's got me, I think I honestly haven't been through that thing where I say to myself, if this is not God's will for me, what does it mean for me? That's deep. That means you've gone through this. Wow. So talk to me about when you talk to God about the person who you want. What does he look like? What is he like? What kind of guy would you be into?
It's weird because everyone's always got like this list, and I've been there and tried to make it work for myself with different things, like I want them this height and this hair colour and this eye colour. And for me now, the biggest thing for me would be his walk with God. That has to be firm. It has to be someone that the Bible talks about the man being the spiritual head of the house.
Yeah.
So it has to be someone that's very secure in their faith and knows where they're going and knows how to do that as much as anyone can know. But yeah, just somebody that needs to be a good laugh. I can't deal with somebody that's
I feel you on that one. Can't take yourself too seriously. Yes.
You need to be able to laugh at yourself sometimes.
What about what kind of hobbies would he be into?
He's got to love dogs.
Got to love dogs. Really?
Prerequisite. My dog meat comes in a package.
Oh my goodness. Another one of my friends is like this. She says he has to love dogs because she has a dog in her bed, kissing a dog all the time. What if he likes dogs but not in his personal space? Then what?
Someone once said to me, what would you do if God brought a man into your life that didn't like your dog? And my only response was, he's not from God. Because it's something that's very important to me, and I don't believe that God would bring someone that's going to make me.
Got you. That's true. I do believe God listens to every desire in our heart, all the details. Like he's into the details. He's a God of boom, 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 boom. Got you. So, what would you want to do on your first date?
Depends what time of year it is.
Okay.
I quite like going walks places. Maybe go for something to eat. But obviously winter time's not the best for that. So I think just somewhere where you can talk. Whether it's coffee, whether it's food.
Yeah.
Somewhere where you can actually get to know someone.
Yeah. Where the dog can be running on the side with a frisbee. Got you. And then how would you want to be asked out on a date? What do you think a guy should do to ask you out on a date?
My pet peeve in life, and people always think that I'm, not going to react well to things, so they like kind of tiptoe around me, and I'm like, just be straight to the point. If you want to ask something, ask it.
Yeah.
Just do it. I can't be dealing with this. Do they, don't they? Is it that, did they mean this? Did they mean that?
Exact same, yes. I think and this is another reoccurring thing with many girls. They're like, just want a guy who's like, oh, this and that, throwing hints there, but then withdrawing, and they just boom, go for it, be blunt.
Yes.
And then have you ever had to say, would you always go if someone asked you out and said, look, Lou, I really do like you, I think we should hang out a bit more? Would you always say yes? Or are there been times when you've been like, no?
No, I'd have to, if I didn't think if there was any potential in it, I would have to say no.
Really? Oh, I believe it always is. Always going out for, if someone asks, you should always go, no?
No.
I mean, you could end up friends, worst comes to worst. So sometimes you've said, you just believe in, just nipping it in the bud if it's not for you from the get-go. Yeah. But what if they're just saying, let's just meet for coffee? That makes sense. But I feel like saying no is
intention. If the intention is as a date,
yes.
You know, I don't see anything in that. Then,
but you know, no one ever uses the word date anymore. Have you noticed? It's always let's go and hang out. So
yeah, but that's where the confusion comes in, and people are like, "Is it a date? Is it not a date? Is it friends? Is it?" No, it's just straight.
Come
up to date or it's not.
Come up to Lou and say, "I would like to take you out on a date, Lou." Go here. Who should get the tab? Who should pick up the tab? Thoughts?
I'm always a bit funny with this one, so I would always go prepared to split it.
Okay.
But I do love a wee bit of, chivalry. So if he was it, I wouldn't object, but I wouldn't expect him to either.
That's true. I think that's my sentiments exactly. It's nice that you can say no, but you should always offer to pay. I don't like that sense. Let me not use that word, sense of entitlement, but it's nice to offer to split the bill. Honestly. Yeah. Talk to me about what would be a deal breaker for a guy. Like, what would cause you to think this person is not for me? Like, definite deal breakers.
Not loving God.
Not loving God. No, remove that one. We're talking about personality. We're talking about, things people do as they're around people.
I think as long as they are a genuine person,
yes.
I can't deal with people, people that will say one thing to someone's face, mm-hmm. and then when you're alone say something completely different. I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
Character.
Okay.
The morals have got to be right. Yeah, I think generally if they're a good person, then
good character.
If they kind of away from that, then it's a bit questionable.
This lockdown, obviously, we have a very minimal interaction with each other. As a church, as friends, what do you think meeting someone is going to look like now? Do you think we need to head out on dating websites? Do you think we need to be doing more introductions with each other as friends? What does dating?
I have no idea.
That's okay.
Personally, I can't entertain online dating.
What?
I have tried.
Yeah. What was it about online dating that didn't get you?
I think personality is quite a big thing for me.
Yes.
And it's so hard to judge that.
Yeah.
Over the internet.
Yeah.
They could look the nicest person, they could say the nicest things, but then when you actually meet them, mm-hmm. It's not on. Yeah. So you'd rather meet in this season? You'd rather meet someone through an introduction, like a friend of a friend of a friend, yes.
Or have God just send.
I mean, I don't think for a second we should just be standing here being like, God, I'm just going to stand here until you bring them.
Yes.
Yeah, I would rather a personal touch to it.
Okay.
Like.
Okay. And what has lockdown been for you? What does it look like for you? How have you been coping with lockdown? When you have family around you, do you live alone? Apart from the dog.
Yep, me and the dog and the cat.
And a cat.
Just the cat.
This is interesting, Lou. So you'd kick the cat out, but you keep the dog.
No, the cat's still there.
But you said the guy has to minimally like dogs.
Yeah. I love my cat, but I could live without my cat.
Ah. Terrible, Lou. Okay, so you're saying, so you, your dog, your cat.
Yeah, lockdown hit, and obviously because I work for the church, mm-hmm. Nothing really changed for me. I was still coming to work, still seeing people. Mm-hmm. It might have been a smaller group of people, but I was still out every day, and then I still had to take the dog out, so I was still out and about. So, except for being able to just pop round to the shops for something trivial or actually going places after work, nothing really changed.
Okay.
I moved house in the middle of lockdown, so that was always fun.
Well, did you move house during lockdown? Did you?
Yep.
Oh,
3 weeks.
2 weeks ago.
3 weeks in to lockdown.
Okay. Oh wow. But I know that you're an avid pool player, right?
Yep.
So
Love a game.
you're not missing heading out to like the pub for a game of pool with friends?
It's really annoying because one of the highlights to moving to where I live now was that the pool hall's right round the corner.
Are you serious? Are you living the south side, are you?
Mm-hmm.
So you
10
can
minutes from the pool hall.
You know, when this is over, we'll have to cram in there like every single Friday.
When it eventually opens back up again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I moved here and cool.
So because of interaction with church, nothing's changed dramatically.
Not really, except from obviously the Sunday meetings, and it's been kind of the same group of people that I've seen throughout the week, but I still see people, which is a lot more than a lot of people have had.
That's true, a lot more interaction. Okay. Wonderful, Lou. So, what do you think people should be doing in their single season? What for you have you been doing that you really think this has been key for my single season? I think people should look into this aspect of their single season. What can they do? How can they cultivate?
Biggest thing for me in the last few years is getting rid of baggage.
Wow.
You know, we've all got a past, we've all got a history, and that all comes with baggage.
Yes.
And any relationship that we get into, if it's still there, that's going to come with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's ultimately going to affect that relationship. So the last few years for me have been about dealing with that, getting rid of it, so that, you know, I can be the best me that I can be for that person.
Okay. So we need to look into our emotional and mental state and our histories to see what could be, you know, what are those things that we've buried that could surface if we were to be in a relationship.
Definitely.